Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside with me today. Today we're out here...
Excuse me. Welcome back to the Budget Sportsman, everyone. This is Nathan Fry. Thank you for joining me on today's video. We got a special video today and we're gonna show you how to measure your bow speed on a budget without a chronograph at all. And we have today Nate from the Average Jack Archery with us, and he's gonna be helping us do this video. Nate, before we get started, why might somebody want to know their bow speed?
Well, in certain categories of archery, like 3D archery, you have to have a bow speed limit, 290 feet a second for some things. So in that case, it's really important, but also it's kind of nice just to know your average bow speed just in general for bow hunting situations. It's not necessary for FIDA and indoor, but it's really nice for those of us that care about such things.
Yes, and it's a lot of fun just to play with different arrow weights and different draw lengths and just see how all of that impacts your bow speed. Now, if you have a chronograph, what is a chronograph actually doing?
So a chronograph is just measuring the speed of an arrow or a bullet as it travels through, and I'm not technologically advanced enough to explain it all in a video that's short enough, but that's basically what it's doing. It's measuring the speed that the projectile travels through the bands going through the chronograph.
So what we're gonna do in today's method is we're gonna use that same idea, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the amount of time it takes for your arrow to travel a known distance. For us today, we're gonna be using 20 yards or 60 feet. And then we're gonna time that using our smartphone and an audio recorder on the smartphone. Using that, we're gonna be able to get the exact time it takes for an arrow to travel that distance, in this case 60 feet, and we'll be able to figure out the feet per second of our arrow. So let's get started step by step how to do the process.
So chronographs are a great way and a quick and efficient way to get speed of your bow, but they're expensive and not everybody has access to one. Now it's really nice, simple and easy to use. You can either take your bow, you can take your gun, simply take your arrow, stand a foot or so away from the chronograph, set it up through, and go ahead and get yourself a fired shot. That'll give us the speed on the chronograph, and that's really nice and really simple, but not nearly as much fun as the method we're gonna show you.
So the first part of this whole process is to measure out your exact distance. Now my recommendation is to use a tape measure, not a rangefinder. If your rangefinder is like mine, it's only accurate to within plus or minus 1 yard, which could give you a big variance. This whole process will be more successful the more precise you are with each part of the process. So again, I recommend getting out a tape measure, measuring out exactly 60 feet. Now here's the thing to remember. Your arrow needs to travel 60 feet. And since we're gonna be measuring when the arrow hits the target at the point, we also need to start the tip of the arrow at 60 feet. For me, that means I need to actually stand about 62.5 feet so that the tip of my arrow is at 60 feet and the arrow travels 60 feet. The next thing you wanna do is you wanna get a voice recorder on your phone. If you got an iPhone, it's called Voice Memos. It comes with your phone, and you're gonna record the sound of the shot and the sound of the arrow hitting the target. Because of the speed of sound, we wanna make sure we put the phone in the middle at exactly the halfway point. So it's gonna be for me at 30 feet. So I'm gonna start recording, put it at 30 feet, and then Nate's gonna take a few shots with his bow. Hey everyone, I'm back at home here to show you exactly what to do with your audio once you've got it captured to your phone. After I show you what to do, we're going to go back over to the range to compare our numbers to the numbers Nate got on the chronograph. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to be able to transfer your audio file from your phone to a computer. I know some of you are going to ask, why can't I do this next step on my phone? Well, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be selecting a portion of that audio to get the amount of time that it took for your arrow to travel that 60 feet. Unfortunately, every app that I've tried on my cell phone to do that, it only gives me a precision of 1/100th of a second. And unfortunately, that amount of precision is not enough to get a good, accurate bow speed result. However, we can get some free programs on the computer that will give us an accuracy of 1/1000th of a second in our timing, which will give us a much more accurate speed reading for our bow. So, again, it's going to depend on what kind of phone and what kind of computer you have of how to transfer it. You may need to plug it in, you may need to email it to yourself. There's all kinds of options. I've got an iPhone and a Mac computer, so I can use AirDrop and wirelessly transfer it really easily. Then you need to get on your computer and you need to download a free audio editing program. And there's several out there. I'll put a couple on the screen right now, but the one that I've had the most success with is Ocean Audio, and that's the one we're going to use today. And that's spelled OCEAN ENAUDIO, and I'll put a link for the download down in the description. Once you get the file transferred and you have the free program installed on your computer, we're ready to start checking out our bow speed. We're in the program right now, and we're going to go ahead and come up here to File, Open, and right here you see the file that I've already transferred called bow speed. Now already as we look at this, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big peaks. Those are the 5 arrows that Nate fired. But we want to be able to zoom in on this. So you come up here to the top, again to your menu, you're going to hit View, Zoom, and then you're going to see Zoom in and out, and then you're also going to see Zoom, a vertical zoom in and out. Now you can do this, but each time you click on it, it moves a very small amount. And so it's better to come over here and check your keyboard shortcuts for your system. Again, I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, they might be different. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the vertical zoom, which as you'll see makes the whole audio file here taller. I'm going to zoom in quite a bit that way. And then I'm also going to zoom in the other way, and as you can see, it's allowing me to see more and more of this audio file. Now, as we zoom in, you'll see this is the first shot that Nate took. Over here on the left, you'll see a peak here, which is when he actually fired the arrow and the sound of the bow going off. And over here, you'll see another peak, which is the arrow actually hitting the target. Let's zoom in a little bit more. What we're going to do is we're going to click right over here at the very start of this peak. We're going to drag over to the very start of this peak, and that's going to give us a number right up here in the corner. This is 0.214 seconds. Now, in order to get our bow speed, what we need to do is we need to take 60, that's 60 feet, divided by 0.214 seconds, and you're going to get your bow speed. Now, I've already set up a spreadsheet over here to do the math for me. It's not complicated, but it just makes it a little bit simpler. If you're a Excel or numbers kind of a person, here would be the formula that you would need to use. So, anyways, right over here, 0.214, and it gives me a reading of 280 feet per second. Now up here we can see the next peak. I'm just going to click on that, double click on that, come down here, and I'm going to select the next one, and let's see, I'm not sure how accurately I selected that. I think on this side I'm not quite right. Let's drag it over to get to the start of that peak a little bit. Alright, there we go. We're going to call it 0.214 again. Alright, here's the third one. And we're going to call that one 0.215. The next one, I'm just going to zoom this up a little bit more. It makes it a little easier to see where the start of that peak is. Again, over here on this side, I don't think I got it quite on. I think we're going to call that one 0.216. And we'll do one more here. I think this should be the last one. We got 0.216 again. So as you can see from those results, I had a little bit of variance, but we're just going to average those 5 results out, and the average of those results is 279 for our bow speed. So let's go ahead and go back to the range and check in with Nate to see how close we were to the chronograph results.
So we popped outside here to use the chronograph because it wasn't playing well with us indoors. We're gonna take a couple of shots through here. We're gonna keep the numbers a secret between you and me. We'll let Nate figure out the numbers from his formula inside, and we will compare them at the end.
Alright, so Nate's already taken a few shots to the chronograph. He knows what the chrono says his bow speed is shooting. I don't know. He's given me a few clues, but I really don't know. I've just run my numbers, and I'm ready to ask Nate how close I am. Alright, Nate, I got, of all 5 shots, really consistent, I got 279 and 280.
279.
279 is what the chrono said.
279 was the average of the chrono.
Alright, so we were right on the money with this method, and this was not rehearsed. In fact, Nate asked if we should rehearse this, and I said, no, let's do this for real. I want to know if this is right or not. So, as you can see, this method is pretty accurate if you take the time to take care of all the details. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it useful information. If you haven't already, go over and check out Nate's channel, Average Jack Archery. A lot of awesome archery content on that channel.
Make sure you also get off YouTube, get outside, and enjoy God's great creation.
Perfect.